Now in 4 News Now, the first State of the Union address for President Trump's second term, why some Democrats are opting out altogether.
I'm tracking more wet weather this evening, both rain and snow, plus a windy Wednesday in the first alert forecast.
And a man in downtown Spokane caught on video throwing rocks at cars and businesses. We have the details on the seemingly random destructive acts. You're watching 4 News Now at 5. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. In about an hour, President Trump is set to address Congress and the nation in his first State of the Union address of his second term. The expected theme, the economy. The administration has received optimistic economic markers in recent weeks with better than expected jobs and inflation reports and the Dow crossing 50,000 for the first time ever. But the cornerstone of the president's economic agenda was derailed last week when the Supreme Court ruled most of Trump's tariffs unconstitutional. Only one of the justices he handpicked for the court during his first term sided with him in this case.
President's going to make the case that 3 more years with him in the White House and with Republicans on Capitol Hill, we can finally achieve the American dream in this country again.
Democrats are trying to gain some of the support President Trump has lost by holding a separate rally tonight. Dozens of Democratic lawmakers say they'll skip the president's speech altogether, including members of the Washington delegation. Senator Patty Murray committing to skipping the event tonight. Others, like Senator Maria Cantwell, held their own events before the State of the Union to address several issues with the Trump administration. Derek Strom joins us in studio now with more from Senator Cantwell and Congressman Michael Baumgartner.
Derek, Cantwell's main concern ahead of tonight's State of the Union is the SAVE Act, which is being supported by the Trump administration. State Secretary Steve Hobbs believes the bill would prevent people who are eligible to vote from participating in elections. Senate Republicans and the Trump administration are pushing for stricter voting laws to prevent non-citizens from voting. One of the proposed bills is the SAVE Act, which would require people to present a birth certificate or passport before voting. But Senate Democrats, including Washington Senator Maria Cantwell, are pushing back ahead of tonight's State of the Union, saying the bills like the SAVE Act would suppress legitimate voters.
A passport can cost $165. In Washington, a replacement of a birth certificate is somewhere between $28 and $51. And voters will have to travel to do more paperwork and stand in longer lines.
Senator Cantwell's guest at tonight's event is Secretary of State Steve Hobbs, who says the federal government's cuts have made it more difficult to prevent election interference.
If this administration was serious about elections, you know what they would do? They would restore the funding and support, which they cut last year, to programs to defend our elections from constant cyber attack and disinformation campaigns from overseas actors.
Meanwhile, Republican Representative Michael Baumgartner brought a Walla Walla teacher as his guest who was nominated by his students. Baumgartner hopes tonight's address won't be a high point for political division.
Some of them were talking about the community heroes that come. Last year was the young man battling cancer, where many Democrats stood up and applauded. And I think, we can celebrate those good moments of camaraderie, and certainly there's some principled divisions as well, too.
Baumgartner hopes the president will highlight policies on crime and fentanyl as part of his speech tonight, though he says overdose deaths from fentanyl are still too high in Washington. In studio, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
All right, Derek, thank you. A protection order violation escalated into a deadly stabbing spree in Gig Harbor this morning that left 4 victims dead and the suspect fatally shot by a Pierce County Sheriff's deputy. Deputies received the initial call at around 9 a.m. Witnesses reported the man was stabbing people in a cul-de-sac on the Key Peninsula northwest of Tacoma. At least 1 victim was stabbed in the street. Around 9:30, a deputy arrived and shots were fired. 3 victims were found dead at the scene. A 4th victim died at the hospital. The suspect also died. Authorities have not released the identities of the victims or that suspect. All right, now to our first alert forecast. Cloudy and a little rain sneaking in this afternoon. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker joins us now with how long this cloudy weather might be sticking around, Chris.
Well, it looks like we do have some sunshine coming in your forecast for Wednesday, but in the meantime, we have rain around the Spokane area, especially as we head south of downtown into the Eagle Ridge area, down around Cheney. Also seeing some precipitation. The further north you go, the lighter that rain becomes. Just a few sprinkles once we're up around Meade and Deer Park. Meanwhile, snow continues in the mountains, Mike Peak, Mount Spokane, and as we zoom out a little bit further, we find that wet weather all the way down through the Palouse with some snow happening in the mountain areas, and this will continue through the evening before tapering off overnight, and we're going to be drying out overnight into a dry but windy Wednesday. Meanwhile, temperatures right now 37 in Spokane, 38 degrees in Coeur d'Alene. We're at 35 in Moscow and Pullman. As we cool off this evening, we may start to see a rain-snow mix developing, but it looks like any accumulations would be limited to some of the higher terrain. This evening, we will see temperatures dropping into the mid-30s by 9, 11 o'clock. Winds generally less than 10 miles per hour, but they are going to be picking up for a windy Wednesday. I'll let you know what to expect in just a few minutes, Derek.
Hi, Chris. Thank you. The driver of the STA double-decker bus who crashed into a viaduct last month was cited for second-degree negligent driving. According to the police report, 65-year-old Wayne Morgan was driving the bus. He told police he was following the map and GPS provided by STA on his route. Police noted impairment was not a factor. 9 passengers were on board that bus. 7 of them were sent to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. 5 of them were sitting on the upper deck and 4 were on the lower deck. STA confirmed the driver was off route when the crash happened. Well, this is the damage in downtown Spokane after a man was caught throwing rocks at 3 different businesses late Sunday night. It happened along Pacific Avenue and Washington Street. After damaging windows, he allegedly threw a rock at a moving car as well. Angela Hara joins us live from where it all happened and shares if businesses in that area, Angela, are still feeling safe.
Derek, this is the street where it all happened. Spokane Police Department say they received a lot of calls that night and were able to track down and arrest the man soon after. Security camera footage from Emerald City's behavioral health clinic shows a man throwing rocks at several windows Sunday night. He begins pacing around, and very soon after, he rushes to throw another rock at a moving vehicle.
So I was in bed, and I got an alarm on my phone. I took a quick peek and saw that there was actual commotion and got in my car and headed down here.
Daniel Njogo was arrested that same night before 11 p.m. He was charged with third-degree assault weapon or negligent injury. But now, SPD tells me he was released the following day.
We're cooperating fully with them in hopes that we are able to find this individual.
We asked the behavioral clinic if the man was a former patient of theirs, and they said he wasn't. And it wasn't just their windows that were damaged. Across the street, a Dutch Bros coffee shop was also targeted. The clinic tells me although they now have to file an insurance claim, they remain hopeful.
We're going to continue to work because that's what we do, and this will get fixed, and we'll continue to provide our services.
And we were not able to confirm why the suspect was released, and we even asked if they received a call from that driver that was allegedly the man threw the rock at their car, and they did not receive a call either. Live in Spokane, Angela Hara, 4 News Now.
All right, Angela, thank you. Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador will honor 3 Kootenai County deputies for their roles responding to last summer's deadly ambush on Canfield Mountain. A man set a fire to lure in firefighters, then fired shots at those who responded. 2 firefighters were killed and 1 other seriously injured. The gunman then killed himself. Kootenai County announced today that deputies Harvey Bowman, Eric Brock, and Josh Orr will receive the Attorney General's Medal of Honor Award for their actions that day. Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador said it is a privilege to recognize these deputies' heroic actions and honor them with this award. Their selfless courage saved lives and exemplifies the finest of Idaho law enforcement. The deputies will also be awarded the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office Medal of Honor Award, which is the highest award presented by the office. All right, our 4 News Now Extreme team is hard at work on their latest project. We'll show you the work being done today to renovate a space for veteran services coming up. And up next, high school sports in Washington could be changing soon. How a policy change hopes to create an open division for many sports. That's after the break.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV. 4 News Now weather is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino Resort Hotel.
Rain or shine, day or night, good weather always reigns at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. No matter the weather, winning is better. Your 7-day forecast calls for fun at the Coeur d'Alene Casino.
Coeur d'Alene Casino, winning is just the beginning.
All month long, find presidential savings on a new 25 Sierra 1500 Elevation. Now just $199 a month lease. There's never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles. And ask us about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
Hi. Hi. Chocolate fundraiser.
With the Chase mobile app, things move a little more smoothly. Deposit checks easily and send money quickly. That's convenience from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Go ahead. Crank the volume. We got you. USPS has increased daily package processing capacity by 46% in the past 5 years. And with USPS Ground Advantage, your packages stay in our secure network, dock to door, nationwide. For full visibility, near real-time tracking, affordable pricing, for peace of mind. USPS Ground Advantage.
When allergies throw a sucker punch, the power of Claritin D punches back harder. Get fast, powerful relief of your worst symptoms, like nasal congestion. Claritin clears.
All month long, find presidential savings up to $9,000 off a new Sierra 2500 HD Denali or 4.9% APR. There's never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles. And ask us about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
4 News Now is brought to you by Horizon Credit Union, proud sponsor of the Extreme Team.
Welcome back. Parents across Washington could see major changes in how their kids compete in school sports. The WIAA is considering a proposal that would recommend keeping transgender athletes from competing in the same division as biological girls. And tonight, the Central Valley School Board will be briefed on this issue. Alexandra Cohen-Yarts joins us live from where that meeting will take place. Alexandra, how much of a say do school districts have in this?
Yeah, Derek, while the Central Valley School District will decide whether they support this or not in the coming month, it is ultimately up to a representative assembly, which is essentially a group of around 53 school administrators from every district within the WIAA. Now, the advisory amendment would create 2 sports divisions, an open category and a girls category. The policy is modeled after Alaska's program, which replaces boys sports with an open division for all student athletes, regardless of sex, gender identity, or gender expression. The girls category, however, would be limited to students whose biological sex is female. Of the 35 amendments proposed by the WIAA, this has the broadest support, with 12 districts having signed on agreeing with this change, including the Meade School District.
We're continuing our support, recognizing that all the students in the schools need to have fair and equitable competition opportunities, and we want to encourage all students to participate in the activities.
Brianne Gray, president of the Meade School Board, supports the change. Central Valley has also been outspoken in the past and urged the WIAA to reconsider its policies, allowing transgender athletes to compete in sports that align with their gender identity. However, others have expressed strong opposition, saying it discriminates against transgender people. It is important to note here, this major change to high school sports would go against state law, so it would have some serious legal hurdles to clear before it's implemented.
Why it's such a touchy and hard one to decide is, what does this mean? Does it mean it's a directive that we do this, or is this, once again, is it just an advisory?
Mike Edward is the district director for the WIAA's Eastern Region. He says legally there is still a lot to figure out on how this would work or what it would mean. Today, the Central Valley School Board will only get information about the amendments. Discussion on them is expected in the coming weeks. Their district representative will then gather input and eventually vote on this in April. Reporting live in Central Valley, Alexandra Cohen-Yarts, 4 News Now.
Alexandra, thank you so much. We showed you a little bit of the work the 4 News Now Extreme team is doing yesterday, and today that work continues. The team is renovating a space for the local nonprofits, Veterans Community Response, and the Fallen Heroes Project. Mark Peterson breaks down the work the Extreme team got done today ahead of the big reveal on Thursday.
So we started at 5 this morning and got quite a bit done. Above me, Continental Door Company. Now, not only did they take the hardware off of this inoperable door, but they adjusted and lubed and got the other doors tuned up so they open and close easily. That's going to be huge for these nonprofits. Also, as we come over here, we're continuing to patch walls. We're going to get things painted. This is all going to be white. We're going to have a highlight color over here with Rada paint. And of course, we can't thank Mountain States Electric and Gold Seal Plumbing enough because they were busy today as well. Just getting rid of some excess piping that wasn't needed and also making sure that this place is just safer. There were a couple off lines that had to be removed. And of course, we did that with those that are bonded, insured, and know what they're doing. It is the Extreme team. We're helping out Veterans Community Response and, of course, the Fallen Heroes Project. We're going to continue the project all the way through Thursday. For the 4 News Now Extreme team, I'm Mark Peterson.
And you know Mark's going to have some kind of surprises come Thursday as well. All right, Chris Crocker is here. So wet today, but dry and windy tomorrow?
That is correct. And some sunshine, perhaps, as well. Take a look at your Wednesday planner. We'll start off the day below freezing, but with dry conditions, precipitation tapering off later tonight. Could see a little bit of sunshine as we get into the afternoon. That's about the time our winds are going to be picking up. I'll tell you more about that and have your 7-day forecast next.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Clay Walker stands as a towering figure in country music with his electrifying performances. Live at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, March 5th. Get your tickets now.
Winning is just the beginning.
Whoa. How are you doing that?
I just started banking with ICCU.
ICCU?
Best banking experience of my life. Smart technology, great rates, benefits with my checking. Plus, it's just nice to talk to people who actually care.
And that made you able to lift a bazillion pounds?
You tell me. Hey, you got any more 45s back there?
Everything you need for your banking and everything you love about a credit union. ICCU. Life's greener here.
Post Falls ER and Hospital, open 24/7, providing premium emergency department care without the wait. From your child sports injury to urgent ambulance visits, Post Falls ER features low wait times, efficient procedures, and compassionate care. Plus, we provide state-of-the-art imaging, inpatient care, and accept all commercial insurances. Because in an emergency, every second counts and every life matters. Post Falls ER and Hospital, State Line near Cabela's, minutes away, hours faster.
In football, to have a good offense, you need to know how to read the defense.
The same is true dealing with the insurance company after a car wreck.
They'll use every trick in their playbook to pay you as little as possible.
But we know their playbook.
Like when they stack the box.
These are huge insurance companies.
And they'll do anything to keep you from winning.
Like stacking the box with attorneys to fight your claim.
That's when you call an audible and call us.
We're attorneys Russell and Hill.
We know the insurance game.
And we know how to win.
The train is right on time. Grand Funk Railroad still shining on tour. Live at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, April 16th.
Winning is just the beginning.
4 News Now is brought to you by Parker Toyota.
It is a damp evening across the inland Northwest. It is raining right now in Spokane. 37 degrees, 38 in Coeur d'Alene with rain. But as our temperatures drop this evening, there may be a time where we see more of a rain-snow mix developing. 4 things to know about your weather. Rain-snow mix this evening. And then we head into a dry but windy Wednesday. It's going to remain gusty through Friday. And right now, I don't want to jinx it. It's only Tuesday. But it does look like we might have a really nice weekend. Here's a look at your Wednesday winds. They'll be picking up starting by late morning with 25-mile-per-hour gusts, 35-mile-per-hour gusts as they peak in the afternoon before things start to calm down a little bit at night. But our windiest day is actually going to be Thursday, where we could have wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour, sustained winds at 20, 25-mile-per-hour gusts on Friday, and then we head into a calm weekend, and it looks dry as well. It is not dry right now. Zoomed in on Doppler radar, we have the wet weather throughout the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene metro area with snow in the higher terrain. Temperatures are dropping, so you may start to see some of that snow mixing in even in the lower elevations, but no accumulation expected, perhaps down on the Camas Prairie, some of the higher portions of the Palouse. You could get a quick inch of wet snow, but nothing that's going to stick around. Let's take a look at our forecast radar. Starting off at our current time, it is going to keep the wet weather going over the Palouse through the early portion of the overnight, but by 3 a.m. we're going to be dry across the region, and then those clouds should start to clear. I'm feeling optimistic about some sunshine for Wednesday, and our temperatures just exactly average. 42 in Spokane, 41 degrees in Coeur d'Alene, mostly in the 40s, few 30s on the map tomorrow. Right around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area, temperatures ranging from 39 at Spirit Lake to 44 in Meade and 44 in downtown, 45 degrees tomorrow in 9 Mile with some sunshine. Taking a look at your planning forecast, we'll keep the winds going through Friday with a mix of sun and clouds and a warming trend, getting close to 50 degrees by Friday. That takes us into this lovely weekend. I don't want to jinx it by getting too excited, but it looks pretty nice. And then possibly back up in the 50-degree range early next week. But overnight lows through the 7-day forecast will be down around freezing or a little bit below, Derek.
Dare we say almost spring-like?
Yes, I agree.
All right. Well, ahead of the president's address to the nation, a look at the nation's economy. Some places American consumers are struggling and what could be contributing coming up. Plus, following the State of the Union speech, a 22-year-old bride-to-be kidnapped in downtown Spokane and murdered. Women live in fear on the South Hill as a serial rapist stalks them. Two of the 509's most notorious crimes. Join us tonight to see how a chance traffic stop caught a killer and how the son of a prominent Spokane media family will forever be known as the South Hill rapist. Don't miss these true crime episodes, Murder of the Bride-to-Be and Kevin Coe, tonight, right after the State of the Union. And be sure to download our streaming app, KXLY Plus, to watch our latest episode of the 509's most notorious crimes, Blood for Oil, the South Hill Hit, the twisted tale of oil, money, and murder in an exclusive South Hill neighborhood, streaming for you tomorrow at 7 on KXLY Plus.
Sign up for the 4 News Now Daily Local at KXLY.com.
Before you consider buying tires online, give Perfection Tire a call.
Because when you buy from us, exceptional warranties are included, and the service you'll actually need for the life of your tire, all included.
Nobody beats perfection.
This month, it's time to break up with boring and fall in love with winning. It's Northern Quest's $80,000 Heartbreaker giveaway. Use your Camas Rewards card for 1 free entry daily and play for even more. Plus, earn 4 times entries every Tuesday. Then, on February 26th, you could be chosen to break a heart that holds up to $40,000 in cash. So go from Heartbreaker to Moneymaker. The $80,000 Heartbreaker giveaway. Grand prize drawing this Thursday, only at Northern Quest.
Thanks for helping out today, Davis. Hey, how did you convince Gonzaga this was important enough to send you out?
Oh, easy. I just told him the truth.
Okay, which is what?
That there was a customer without heat.
Oh, okay.
And you had no chance of fixing it without my help.
You just hold the flashlight.
Well, yeah. I doubt you could fix this in the dark.
Really?
Call 208-777-5528 now to schedule your $26 tune-up.
Gold medal markdowns are happening now at George Gia. Go for the gold and score great deals like the 2026 Kia Sorento EX all-wheel drive. Lease for only $399 a month. Or the 2026 Kia Carnival LXS, also just $399 a month. These offers will move at record speed, so sprint in today. Shop George Key Kia off I-90 in Liberty Lake, or shop SpokaneKia.com.
When it comes to tires, you want options. At Perfection Tire, we've got all the top brands: Cooper, Toyo, Michelin, Goodyear, Continental, and so many more.
And with easy credit plans, get 6 months financing with 0 interest. You can drive away today.
This is your community, and your stories deserve to be heard. At 4 News Now, we're here to listen, connect, and bring you the news that truly matters. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
A penny saved is a lifetime earned. Numerica Credit Union. Money where it matters.
4 News Now is brought to you by Summit Cancer Center.
An affordability crisis looms over Americans. President Trump continues to visit states touting the economy, but many say they're still facing difficulties. The price of childcare is a big factor financially impacting families. According to LendingTree, childcare estimates rival rent costs in many of the largest metro areas in the country. And prices have inflated not just for food, but personal care items as well. Data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reveals the cost of items for hair, dental, shaving, and other personal care products have gone up 18% from 2020 to 2025.
I usually do go for cheaper things just because my budget is pretty small. Yeah, I don't really care about the brands anymore just because I can't afford the big ones.
In under an hour from now, during President Trump's State of the Union, affordability is expected to be a major focus of the address. The Trump administration's new global tariffs have started lower than President Trump had vowed. Over the weekend, President Trump announced the sweeping new tariffs would be set at 15% effective immediately. However, the president had already signed an official proclamation imposing the tariffs at a 10% level. A White House official said the plan is eventually to increase them to 15%, but there's no timeline yet for when the president will sign a new order. The new global duties were announced after the Supreme Court invalidated Trump's widespread use of emergency tariff powers, which prompted him to begin implementing his trade strategy through other pathways. All right, World News Tonight is right after our newscast. Here's a preview of the stories coming up at 5:30.
Tonight, Savannah Guthrie's $1 million reward for the return of her mother. Plus, the monster storm in the Northeast with more snow on the way. And President Trump's State of the Union address with so much at stake. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the #1 newscast in America.
Sign up for the 4 News Now Daily Local at KXLY.com.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's asking you to call. Drive your Chevrolet through the USA. America's the greatest land of all.
Now, well-qualified buyers can get 3.9% financing for 60 months on all 2026 Silverado 2500 HD pickups, plus no monthly payments for 90 days. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
What kind of a book is it?
It's a love story.
The Notebook is now a romantic Broadway musical for the ages, full of butterfly-inducing highs.
Why didn't you write to me?
I wrote you a letter every day for a year.
Based on the best-selling novel that inspired the iconic film. Fall in love again at The Notebook.
March 17th through the 22nd at the First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Then I realized the more you bundle, the more you save on insurance with Liberty Bibberty.
It's like you're talking my love language.
Well, I've been taking word classes online.
Wow.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Why suffer through painful heartburn longer than necessary? For effective relief, nothing works faster than Alka-Seltzer. The effervescent formula begins neutralizing acid in seconds to effectively relieve heartburn fast. Try Alka-Seltzer.
I'm Mark Peterson with the 4 News Now Extreme Team. Join us all this week as we take a double project on for the Veterans Community Response and the Washington State Fallen Heroes. Their new neighbors. Extreme Team is brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
I'm Dr. Roxanne Haslam. I'm one of the urologists at North Idaho Urology.
Dr. Matt McLaughlin.
North Idaho Urology, I'm Dr. Ellison.
I'm Dr. David Flores. I work at North Idaho Urology as one of the urologists there in the practice.
The North Idaho Urology difference is that we care.
North Idaho Urology, we really strive to just provide an excellent experience for the patients.
What's important to me in taking care of patients is trust in their surgeon.
Give us a call, go to our website. We'd love to see you soon.
A historic Spokane neighborhood, a brazen crime.
The victim was targeted.
A family caught in the web of business deals and murder. Watch Blood for Oil, the South Hill Hit, Wednesday at 7 only on KXOI+.
4 News Now is brought to you by Craig Swap & Associates.
Here's a look at your planning forecast. It is going to be a gusty next 3 days, but dry. Rain possibly mixed with snow this evening, but then we'll be done with the wet weather for a while, at least in the valleys.
Okay. Floyd Money Mayweather Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao plan to step back into the ring together. The boxers are set to fight on September 19th at the Las Vegas Sphere, with Netflix streaming the bout live. The fight is a rematch of the pair's record-setting 2015 matchup. Now, Mayweather won that fight, but Pacquiao has fought more professionally in recent years. But just going to see how they are 11 years on from that last fight. All right, keep up to date with all the news on 4 News Now and KXOI.com. World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up next. And then, of course, the State of the Union address with President Trump begins at 6. You can watch it right here on 4 News Now. We'll see you tonight at 11 for Nightside.